Imagine walking into a grocery store and seeing only 3 types of fruit. You'd think there was a famine, right? But look around. Even in the biggest supermarkets, we are essentially living through a flavor famine disguised as variety. We see rows of shiny red apples that taste like wet paper, and strawberries the size of tennis balls that have the soul of a cucumber. Have you ever wondered why, in a world of millions of plant species, we only eat about 12 of them? It isn't because these are the best, it's because these are the only ones that can survive a 3-week journey in a shipping container. There is a hidden world of plants out there. Fruits so sugary, so prolific, and so effortless to grow that they've been practically erased from the public consciousness. They produce so much food so quickly that if everyone had one, the commercial fruit industry would lose its grip. They are the glitches in the matrix of agriculture. Think about the last time you bought a mango. It was probably picked green, gassed with ethylene, and flown halfway across the world. Now, imagine a fruit that tastes like a blend of banana, mango, and vanilla custard, but it grows in the freezing woods of Ohio or Canada. This is the pawpaw. It's North America's largest native fruit, and it looks like a prehistoric mango. The reason you have never seen a pawpaw in a store isn't that people don't want them, it's because they are too good to be sold. A pawpaw ripens into a soft, creamy gold, and within 48 hours, it's gone. It refuses to be refrigerated for weeks. It refuses to be stacked in crates. Because it can't be commodified, it's been treated like a myth. But for the person who plants one in their backyard, the yield is staggering. A single mature tree can drop dozens of pounds of tropical-tasting gold every autumn. It's a literal cheat code for northern gardeners who want a tropical paradise without the plane ticket. But the pawpaw is just the beginning of the plants they've kept off your plate. While most fruit trees demand constant attention, spraying, and expensive fertilizers, there is a shrub that actually creates its own food while feeding you. Meet the Honeyberry. In the world of botany, this is what we call a nitrogen fixer. It has a symbiotic relationship with bacteria in its roots that allows it to pull nitrogen directly from the air and pump it into the soil. It's a self-fertilizing machine. In early summer, the gumi becomes absolutely encrusted with small, silver-flecked red berries that taste like a sophisticated tart cherry with a hint of astringency. They are packed with more lycopene than tomatoes and enough vitamins to make a supplement bottle look empty. Yet, you will never find these in a plastic clamshell at the store. Why? Because they ripen at different times on the same branch, making mechanical harvesting impossible. You have to pick them by hand, one by one, savoring the sun-warmed juice. It's a plant that rewards the individual, not the corporation. But if you think a berry bush is impressive, wait until you hear about the tree that was quite literally banned from city streets for being too generous. The mulberry tree is the ultimate rebel of the plant kingdom. If you find an old-growth mulberry, you'll notice the ground beneath it is stained a deep royal purple. This tree produces so much fruit that it becomes a literal hazard for anyone wearing white shoes. In fact, many cities across the country have actually passed ordinances banning the planting of fruiting mulberries. They claim it's because of the mess or the pollen, but the reality is that a single mulberry tree can provide enough calories to supplement a family's entire summer diet. We're talking about gallons upon gallons of sweet blackberry-like fruit that requires zero maintenance, no pruning, no spraying, no fuss. The ever-berrying varieties will give you fruit for months on end. The industry hates them because you can't ship a mulberry. They are so delicate they practically melt when you touch them. They are meant to be eaten straight from the branch, purple juice running down your chin. It's a level of abundance that feels almost illegal in a world where we're taught that food must be expensive and hard to get. But abundance doesn't always look like a giant tree. If you've ever walked through a garden and seen what looks like a tiny paper lantern lying on the ground, you found a ground cherry. These are relatives of the tomatillo and the tomato, but they've mastered a trick that makes them the easiest harvest in history. When the fruit is perfectly ripe, tasting like a cross between a pineapple, a grape, and a vanilla bean, it simply drops to the ground. The paper husk protects it like a natural, biodegradable wrapper, keeping it clean and fresh for weeks. You don't even have to guess when to pick them. The plant just hands them to you. They are sweet, addictive, and grow with such ferocity that a single plant can produce hundreds of lanterns in a single season. They are perfect for kids and perfect for lazy gardeners. Yet because they require scavenging from the ground rather than picking from a waist-high row, they are ignored by big agriculture. It's a gourmet secret hiding in plain sight. Now, let's talk about a plant that seems to laugh at the face of a changing climate. As the world gets hotter and drier, most fruit trees struggle and die. But the jujube, or the Chinese date, thrives in the chaos. This tree is nearly immortal. It can handle -20 degrees in the winter and 120 degrees in the summer. It doesn't care about drought, it doesn't care about poor soil, and yet every year it loads itself down with fruit that tastes like a sweet, crispy apple when fresh. If you leave them on the tree, they naturally wither and turn into dates that are rich, chewy, and shelf-stable for months without any processing. It's a survivalist's dream. You have fresh fruit in the fall and dried superfood for the winter, all from a tree that you could practically ignore for a decade. The reason you don't see them is simply a lack of imagination in the West. We're stuck in our ways, while this powerhouse of production sits on the sidelines, waiting for someone to notice its potential. While the jujube handles the heat, there's another plant that has mastered the cold in a way that puts the blueberry to shame. Blueberries are notoriously fussy. They need specific acidic soil, lots of water, and years to establish. Enter the honeyberry, also known as haskap. This is a member of the honeysuckle family from the freezing plains of Siberia and Japan. It doesn't just survive the cold, it thrives in it. The flowers can bloom in the snow and still produce fruit. And the taste? It's like a blueberry, but amplified, tangy, zesty, and meltingly soft. They ripen weeks before any other fruit in the garden, providing a hunger gap solution that most people didn't even know they needed. They don't need acidic soil, they don't need fancy fertilizers, they just need a spot in the garden to start pumping out blue, elongated berries by the bucket load. But because they are new to the Western market, they remain a secret kept by those in the know. Finally, we have to look back into the deep past to find a fruit that is so strange it feels like it belongs in a fantasy novel. The medlar was a staple of medieval Europe, prized by kings and peasants alike. But in the modern world, it has been almost entirely forgotten. The medlar is unique because you cannot eat the fruit when it's ripe in the traditional sense. When you pick it in the late autumn, it's hard and astringent. You have to practice an ancient technique called blooding. You let the fruit sit in a cool place until it begins to soften and break down. To the untrained eye, it looks like it's rotting, but inside, the flesh transforms into a complex, spiced applesauce with the texture of thick custard and the flavor of wine and dates. It is a winter luxury that requires patience, something the modern fast food world has no time for. It's a fruit that teaches you to slow down, and in return, it gives you a flavor that no grocery store on earth can replicate. The reality is that we have traded flavor, nutrition, and true abundance for the sake of standardization. We've been told that if a fruit isn't in the store, it must not be worth growing. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The most productive, delicious, and resilient plants are the ones that the system can't control. They are the plants that ripen too fast, grow too easily, or taste too complex for a mass market palate. When you plant one of these producers, you aren't just growing a snack. You are performing an act of quiet rebellion. You are opting out of a fragile supply chain and stepping into a world where food is a gift, not a commodity. What if your backyard wasn't just a patch of grass, but a self-sustaining forest that could feed your neighborhood? The power to change our food system doesn't start in a boardroom. It starts with a single hole in the dirt and a forbidden seed. We've spent decades being told what we should eat, but the earth is ready to give us so much more if we're just willing to look beyond the supermarket shelf. Does the idea of a food forest feel like a dream, or are you ready to make it a reality? I want to know which of these hidden gems you'd plant first. Have you ever tasted something that felt like it shouldn't exist in the modern world? Drop a comment below and let's talk about the plants the world forgot. If you're ready to reclaim your food independence, make sure to like this, share it with someone who's tired of cardboard fruit, and subscribe for more deep dives into the secrets of the natural world. The harvest is waiting.